This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. That's my closet full of all the stuff that I love. And today, well, all good things must come to an end because we are going to look at the last film in this box set from Imprint After Dark Neo-Noir Cinema Collection 2. We've done episodes on all the other films in this box set. You can see them listed there. And we've also done episodes on all the films in Volume 1, and I'm going to show you those films here too. But the question is, does Volume 2 end with a bang or a whimper? Let's check it out. The final film in our Neo-Noir Volume 2 box set is Narc from 2002. It's an hour 45 minutes long in color. This one's about two Detroit narcotic detectives who team up to find out who killed one of the detective's partners. I'm really going to try to not give any spoilers in this discussion because that would be very easy to do with this film. We have two main stars in here. Jason Patric, he plays one of the detectives, of course. He was an undercover narc, but at the beginning of the film, we learn that he was suspended for 18 months, and the film actually begins with the incident, the terrible incident he was involved in that caused his suspension. I don't want to get into too much of that either, but that's a really impressive set piece in this film. This comes after Jason Patric's performances in the films Rush and After Dark, My Sweet. Both those films are in these Neo-Noir collections, Volume 1 and 2. The other star in here is Ray Liotta, who is just always great. And I think if you're a fan, I think you need to see this one. He's the narc whose partner was killed. His last name in this is Oak, so they want him to be sturdy like an oak tree. So he put on a lot of weight for this role. He grew a goatee for the director's request, and he's wearing lifts in his shoes, so he looks like he's towering above everybody. This comes several years after Ray Liotta's probably most famous film, Goodfellas. And unfortunately, he passed away not too long ago, 2022, at the way too young age of 67. The director here is Joe Carnahan. He directed a film I really like called The Gray. He also directed the A-Team movie, which I don't believe I ever saw, but that was a huge hit, like over $170 million. He intended for this film to be a cross between The French Connection and a John Cassavetes film, which I think I kind of see that in certain parts of this. It definitely does not have that loose structure of a Cassavetes film at all. Maybe some of the acting a little bit here and there. I did want to mention the cinematographer who does a fantastic job. I never heard of him. Alex Nepomucki. He worked on a film I really like called Safe, and he worked on one of my favorite TV series, The Americans. He uses a lot of really saturated colors in this, strong colors, very interesting looking film. His flashback scenes are very intense. A lot of that due to the editing, the way they just show up like a cold splash of water in your face and really kind of shock you. He experiments with black and white and a lot of handheld stuff that puts you right in the action, that really gets you involved and makes you very tense. Both of our main characters are battling demons of their own. Jason Patric's character, well, that's the mistake he made at the beginning of the film while he was undercover and why he was suspended. And then I don't think it's giving away too much to say that he had some issues with drugs himself while he was pretending to be a drug user and a drug dealer. I think that's given away pretty early in the film, and it's pretty obvious. There's on top of all that, there's pressure from his wife to stop working on the streets, get a desk job, because he just goes too much, gets too into it, and they also have a baby boy at home. Now, as far as Ray Liotta's character, well, it's his partner who was killed, so he's very troubled by that, of course, and he's seeking revenge, willing to bend the rules if he needs to, and he tries to control his temper. This is not Ray Liotta chewing up the scenery and just going ballistic all the time. It's a much more complex character than that, I think. As far as any neo-noir characteristics of this film, yeah, I think there's some there. We have our two troubled main characters who've experienced some crisis in their lives. We have some very seedy characters like junkies and thieves. And then the setting, even though it's supposed to be Detroit, they couldn't shoot there, so they had to shoot it in Toronto. But it looks just like a, an inner city that's kind of crumbling, drug underground, gangs, child prostitution even comes into it. And there's also, like in many noirs, a very good mystery that's very unpredictable. At least I could not predict it. My rating for Narc is 4.5 hypodermic needles out of 5. Strong acting by our two leads. It's well directed, suspenseful, fast moving. It is rather profane. The N-word's used a couple of times, so be aware of that. It's a low budget film. They only had 28 days to shoot it, but it definitely looks a lot better than that. So what's on this disc? Well, like I said, this is part of that box set from Imprint. So you have a commentary track, which I did not listen to. There are several features, interviews with the director, with the stars. Some are new, some are old. They range anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes approximately. And I think that's it. And then it looks good. Where can you see Narc? Well, obviously you're not going to want to get that box set. I don't think it's even available anymore. But you can get this on DVD. I don't see it available on Blu-ray right now. So if you want to buy it, you can buy it on DVD. You can rent it. And if you have HBO Max, apparently you can watch it on there right now too. So that might be your best bet if you have that. So that's for Narc. Feel free to leave a comment or suggestion as we reach the end of that second Neo-Noir box set. I would like to thank the following people for leaving comments on various episodes, old and new, since I recorded our last episode. That includes Tina, Drainel, Michael, Sid, Alan, Vivienne, Paul, Brennan, George. Thank you for taking the time to comment. Really appreciate that. Leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. Share this with your friends and neighbors. We are 10 away, last time I looked, from our next goal of 625 subscribers. Let me give my spiel. I'm not selling anything. I have no merch. This is not provided to me. I don't have a Patreon. I'm not trying to charge for subscriptions or anything like that. Subscribing is free. Thanks to our new subscribers since our last episode, Raleigh, Kurjan93, OJM Gaming, and Kevin. Thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it. We're also, subscribing is free, by the way. We're also on Letterboxd. That's where we post brief reviews of other things we're watching. And there's a link down below. We're under the Kazdoy closet. And we recently did brief reviews of The Equalizer 3 and Massacre Time, great Italian Western. So, hope you like this one. And thanks for watching. See you next time.